looked like an oasis in the Sahara Desert. And keeping Sri Lanka in mind, it happened that 30 years ago, almost to the month, I happened to have an audience with His Holiness Dalai Lama in Bombay. In the course of the conversation, I tried to equate Tibet with Palestine and Kashmir. Those three have all gone from bad to worse. Has the Sri Lanka rodeo really ended? Absolutely over? Or is there still something simmering in Sri Lanka?
I thought we were talking about cricket, but that's science fiction, we won the World Cup, but yeah. But okay, I mean, this is a complex question, stuff simmering, because if you look at the time, Seven Moons is set in 89, China was set in 96, it will take me a while to get to the 21st century, where I go, but look at the last 10 and the war ended 2009. Clean, I mean, I wouldn't use that word, but one side were annihilated. And before I let that simmer for a while, suddenly there was Buddhist extremism that came up, an anti-Muslim sentiment that was, again, many conspiracy theories who fanned that, but that happened for the first, 2010 to 2015. Then we had the Easter attacks. Then we had this, and then, the regime came back in, and then suddenly this huge economic collapse where a young population mobilized and united, and we had a cycle. And now we have, who knows, a great place to write novels from. Lots happening. But if you're asking about the ethnic conflict, the Sinhala and Tamil, well, there are, and even if you ask about the JVP, the Sinhala youth that were abducted, the Marxist youth, there are still parents holding up photographs, asking for answers, and those things don't make the headlines. And I suppose our hope is that, okay, they'll die off, that generation, and we'll forget about it. And I think that is the central conflict of both books, but certainly with Seven Moons, how does Sri Lanka address its past? And most people are like, oh, it happened, bad things happened, let's just move on, it's a new time. But easy to say if you didn't suffer. Or do we dig it up and scrutinize it and talk about it? So, look, you'll have different answers if you ask what is Sri Lanka like in 2025. I would say there is a sense of hope because after the article here, that was one, and it's again many narratives, but I think it's a time where the country really united across generations, across races, religions, just to get rid of the two governments, the two parties that have ruled the country. And so now we have a third party, and let's see, I mean, the jury's out on how. Ask me in 5 years, who knows what would have happened in 5 years with Sri Lanka, but whether they're simmering, whether they are safe, whether they are going to rise again, these are questions that haven't been answered. But I'd say, please visit, we need the tourist dollars, and it's a lovely paradise. We are actually one of the most peaceful places on the planet.
Who isn't simmering should be the question. I think we're all simmering at different temperatures. We've been asked to wrap up. Thank you very much.